Hello everyone! Welcome to another video. This time I'm doing the ArtSnacks February unboxing. As you have probably already figured out, this is going to be voiceover only instead of my usual live unboxing reaction videos. And that's because it's been about 3 months since I last did an unboxing video. And surprisingly, I am very rusty. I actually initially recorded a live reaction for this and it was a mess. I felt very disorganized. I was not presenting the materials very efficiently, and so I decided to just scrap it and do a voiceover instead. And so, as you had seen, we had gotten a Dum Dum Pop for this month's candy, and then I showed off the sticker, which you get every month, and it always has a different design. And first up, we've got the Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolor markers. These were featured, or I should say teased, by ArtSnacks to be in this box. They are new to Faber-Castell as well as new to ArtSnacks, and these are basically double-ended markers that are kind of like watercolor markers, and so you could add water to the pigments and create watercolor washes. And so there's a brush tip on one end and then a bullet nib on the other end, and you get 2 of them. Next, we have the Princeton Glacier Series 4950 synthetic brush in round size 2. I initially thought that this was the Royal & Langnickel synthetic sable brush since I have that set and they have clear handles. But I was still excited to get this brush because I don't think I have any size 2 brushes, and so it's nice to have a brush that has a lot more definition just because it is smaller. And that brush is great for watercolor and acrylic paints. Next, we have the Viarco Art Graph water-soluble graphite pencil in 2B, and as the name suggests, this is water-soluble graphite, so you could add water right on top of it to create kind of like a watercolor wash. And last but not least, we have the Kuretake Zig Clean Color Dot double-ended marker, which has a 0.5mm hard plastic nib on one end and then a squishy round dot tip on the other. And as you could see, I kind of struggled with the packaging. I thought it'd be like Posca markers where you just twist and the shrink wrap comes right off, and so I decided to speed that up because that took a lot longer than what I should have taken to open the packaging. And I'd gotten this in the fawn color, which is kind of like a tan, almost skin tone color. And so that is all of the supplies that we had gotten with this month's box. I personally didn't really feel either way regarding the contents. I mean, I was excited about the Faber-Castell markers, but apart from that, like I was pretty neutral. And I think my least favorite thing is the graphite pencil, which I have mentioned in previous videos. I really don't use pencils at all. I prefer using my mechanical pencil with colored lead, and I feel like, you know, every time we get a pencil in these ArtSnacks boxes, I just end up putting them away and never using them again, which is really sad and unfortunate. I don't know if maybe in the future I might just do a giveaway for these pencils so that they can go to a good home rather than just sitting and not being used by me, especially because I know a lot of artists out there do prefer pencils. They like that feel of graphite on paper, and so maybe that's something that I will do because I have definitely accumulated a lot of these pencils. Normally, when I am trying out these art supplies, I use the ArtSnacks Plum Chester sketchbook, which you guys have seen in previous ArtSnacks unboxing videos, and I decided to do something different this time because, as I've previously mentioned in my other videos, the ArtSnacks Plum Chester sketchbook is great paper for just dry media. It's very thick and fairly smooth paper, and so on dry media it works very well, but when it comes to wet media, it kind of absorbs, the paper absorbs the ink so quickly, and it absorbs the water to the extent that you really can't blend or do anything on that paper, and it just got really frustrating, and I felt like it wasn't really showcasing these supplies to their full potential. And so instead I'm using the Canson mixed media paper, since that can handle both dry and wet media fairly well. And as you could see, these colors of the Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolor markers are very saturated and they're very juicy inks. And I don't know if I had mentioned it previously, but the 2 colors that I had gotten were Permanent Green Olive and Scarlet Red, though the Scarlet Red is more of an orange color. And right now you just see me adding water, and I was very pleasantly surprised at how well the pigment kind of activates with the water and how easily it was to kind of pull that pigment and create these beautiful saturated and very vibrantly colored washes. And so this was probably my favorite supply out of the box, but at the same time I already have watercolor paints, and so I'm not really sure when I would use these markers. I mean, they're great for having really great definition. If you're trying to have a really defined hard edge, you could use the marker and then just add water and have a lot more control of where that color is going. But again, I really don't know when I would be using these markers, but they were fun to use. And then we've got the graphite pencil, which again is water-soluble graphite, and so it kind of acts like a watercolor pencil where you lay down the graphite and then just put water over it and create kind of a wash. And apparently if the wash is dried, then you could erase and create some highlights. And right now I'm just using the two Faber-Castell markers to kind of create a palette. Since I personally wasn't really thrilled about getting like an orange and a green color, but I was very curious to see what colors I would be able to get just from mixing these two. And I was very surprised at the wide range of colors. They're very muted, like earth tone colors. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna create using these supplies, but it was fun just trying them out. And again, with the watercolor markers, I did try to lift the color and it didn't lift at all, which is expected because they're just watercolor markers and not watercolor paints. And so with this close-up, hopefully you could just kind of appreciate the different colors and the saturation of the different supplies that we had gotten. And so that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.